Hello live wires, Heather Boyd Wire here, and today it's Tip Tuesday. Today I'm using these awesome looping pliers from Beadalon and German wire from Beadalon to make a super funky spiral bracelet. I will link up the looping pliers in the description below the video and the Beadalon German wire. I'm using 20 gauge. My other tools are the Beadalon Slimline Series chain nose pliers, the round nose pliers, the Glimmer Series nipper tool, and the Beadalon nylon jaw pliers. Here are the looping pliers. They have 3 different sizes for the loops. I will cut the end of the 20 gauge German wire flush, and then I'm going to insert it into the looping pliers and press it gently to start forming the loop. So we'll put it in there and press and rotate. So we're going to keep going, lifting and pressing and rotating until we've made the full loop. And then we're going to bend it at a bit of an angle to make a centered loop. So that's a very simple loop. I'll just clip the end of the wire, and I can add a bead on there, and we can do the loop on the other end. So we're going to hold that and then insert the wire into the looping tool, give it a press, and bring the wire around to make a full loop. After that, we'll get our flush cutters and give it a little clip. So that makes a nice little link. Another method is we'll start a little bit further away from the end, about 1 inch to 1.5 inches, a little more if you want more coils. We're going to bring the wire around and bend as we did before. Holding the loop, we're going to bring the wire right around, and then we want to take the end and wind it around a few times. This will make it a little more secure to hold in place, and it makes it more decorative. So we'll clip that end, and then we'll cut it and add our bead. This time we're going to hold the wire a little further away from the bead, give it a little press, and bring the wire around. This way we'll have a little space to wind the wire around the other side of the bead. Bring it around a few times. Sometimes it's better to have a longer wire. It's easier to wind, and we'll clip it. Pinch it in with the chain nose pliers. If you want to make a simple infinity sign, we can use the larger part of the looping pliers to form our first loop. Bring it all the way around, remove the looping pliers and place them on the other side, and we're going to form the other loop. Bring it around till it comes to the center. Do any little adjusting that you need. And this makes a round kind of infinity sign. And you can actually hammer this piece to make it more solid. Although the German wire is harder than the artistic wire, it's considered about half hard. So here are the different kind of components that you can make. And now we're going to make the bracelet. We'll take the end of the wire to make a simple loop. Just bring it around. There's our simple loop, and we want it centered, so we'll put it back and give it a little bend. There's our centered loop, and we will add a 8mm cat's eye bead. I love this turquoise. Place our looping pliers about 1/8 of an inch away just have a little gap in there and pinch. Bend it back so it's centered. Bring the wire around to close that loop, and then bring the end around. One full turn. And now we want to push the bead with our fingers to hold it up against the wire and wind the wire around. We want to wind it around a few times, depending on how long you cut your wire. Bring it all the way around. Remove it from the pliers and hold it firmly to finish the spiral. Now we can cut it flush and pinch in that little pokey end with the chain nose pliers. So there we have one component with one end that opens and the other end is closed. So we can open that end to attach it to the other spiral components and attach it to the other end that's closed. So we can continue attaching those together so we have enough to make a bracelet. From there we can make a simple hook using the same wire. We're going to make a centered loop as we did before and bring the wire around, coil it to close that loop and make it a little more decorative. Then we can remove it and we will clip the end with the nipper tool. Pinch in that pokey end. Now we're going to make a little loop as I've done previously in my safety clasp tutorial. I'll link that up below as well. And we're going to make a tiny loop which will help it to be more secure. Give it a little bit of a pinch. And now we'll go back with the looping pliers to make the hook. Position it where you want the hook. Use a larger part of the looping tool and bring it around. And now we're going to do another tiny little loop here so we don't have a rough end. Bring it around and you could pull the wire to make it even tinier. Give it a little clip with the nipper tool. And we're going to push in that little pokey end so it won't be scratchy. And we're going to open up the open loop on the bracelet, attach the hook, close it up using our chain nose pliers. You can use the nylon job pliers to press it to make it a little more firm, a little more flat. And here we have our finished bracelet. Looks super cute with the spirals. Just hooks in there. And it has a nice little dangly feel to it. Thanks so much for watching the video. Be sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for lots more wire art and jewelry making tutorials. You can also join the Wire Makers Club on Facebook to share photos of your wire art and wire jewelry. You can get the templates for most of my projects in my Etsy DIY shop. Be sure to use the coupon code SAVE25 to save 25% when you purchase any 5 templates, tutorials, or ebooks in my shop. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you the next time.